Hi everyone, my name is Moises Moreno and welcome to my breakdown. So today I'm gonna show you how I did this effect from the challenge of the creator by Miodrag. Shout out to him for bringing these renders to the community. And today I'm gonna show you, well, the creation of my approach for this effect. This is the before, this is after. And yeah, I'm not gonna go through the whole script, just through the laser. And first, I got the depth channel shuffled into the RGBA. Then I realized that grading the offset could give me the illusion of distance, and having this set saying like, okay, so if the offset is the distance, what if I do the opposite? So basically I linked the two offsets, two grades together, and one is the inverse of the other one. So you can see here that I'm parenting the grade 31 and multiplying it by -1, which is giving me the inverse. Why this? So whenever I invert the other depth channel and then difference them, I'll get this result. And this is what I want. So I want both depth channels to be very close together in terms of in offset or distance. That way I could have this shape, which this is gonna drive the whole laser effect because this is procedural. So that way I can apply this as a surface laser, or when the surface is hitting the ground or the objects, and this same effect can be driving the laser through to the sky. Okay, now I clamped it, and this is what I was telling you about. So whenever I want, I can do this, and it has this effect. You see that since one grade is linked to the other one, it almost looks like it's going through every piece of the geometry, which is kind of cool. And okay, so after that, I did an image plane stencil because there's some parts in the render where the this the render where the roof is occluding the light. But since the depth channel didn't is not taking in consideration that, I'm just stenciling it out so it looks a bit more realistic. And after all, I just did a post process for the intensity of the grade and the tint of the laser. That way I could multiply it by the raw lighting and the specularity, which is this result. And when I multiply it, I basically get the render but lit up by the surface laser. And I added a little bit of glow, crop that, and plus it back to the render. So this is the result for the first part of the nomad laser. And to get the shape of the nomad laser, I did a roto. And this roto has this node from Nupedia, I believe, which is the edge from alpha. And this other one, it's the same, but it's sharper. So once I screen them back together, it has this effect. I want this to be breaking up by some noise patterns since we want the atmosphere to be this laser to go through the atmosphere, a little bit of smoke. So this is we don't want this perfect shape. So this is what I did. I break it up by some noise pattern, which is simulating the atmosphere smoke. I shuffle it, and then I graded the intensity again and the tint. So this is the first part of the laser that is going to the sky or from the sky. And okay, so this is, I don't remember what I learned this trick from, but this is basically a noise pattern that it's a pixel size, and once you transform it in the y-axis, you get these lines. And the reason for that is that we want variation in opacity and position for the lasers that are going in the middle. So to get this effect, you just have to uncheck this box, black outside, and I mask it again by another noise pattern, giving me this result. Again, I graded the intensity, and okay, so I'm just gonna go to the other part, which is gonna be the feel of the laser. And this is basically the surface laser, and I dilated it in the y-axis. That way we could have this gradient between gray and white, and I crop it, mask it again by noise, grade the intensity, and all of these results, plus them back together, tint them, and then the masking process, which is okay, and now that I got this shape, how can I be driving this shape with, how can I link this shape with the surface laser? So it's the same. It's the same approach. I took the same grade that is driving the distance, and I inverted it, and I clamp it, and I did some adjustments with the borders, so it merged a little bit better. So now this is the result, but all the effect is being driven by the animation of this link. So this area laser is now again being stenciled out with this gizmo, which gives me an image plane with the camera that I did a basic 3D tracking, and then you just connect the camera, you connect the rotor, and then you have the image plane stick to the distance you set it up to. And a little bit of post process, which is glow, and I just kept the RGBA. And after that, you just plus it back to the render. So the first part, second part, and the final part is to get the reflections in the water. So for that, I try to invert this same result, but since the offset was being driven by that, and once you inverted it, then all of the lines, let me draw a shape here so I can show you. All of the lines were kind of like this. So the inverted or the transformed result was not working. So what I did is I realized that if I kept the same shape here, and since it will be a reflection that will be blurred out, it wouldn't matter that much, or it wouldn't be noticeable if the reflection here and here wouldn't be exact. For example, here you can see that there is a little bit of a highlight in here, but we can use this bottom part for the reflection and you can still get away with it. So I just used it, but the inversion of the mask that I previously showed. So it's the inverted mask, and again, intensity and all of that post process. And this is just a spaceship that goes through through the foreground is being stenciled out. A little bit of crops, reformatting crop, and then I key mixed it with the result. So I want also the reflections to have this dynamic lighting that the laser is driving. So I blurred it at a bunch, crop it, and key mix it with this one. So I have the dynamic lighting from the original laser plus the bottom part of the same laser blurred out, so it could be the direct reflection in the water. But all of this should be like having a more dynamic lighting, and this is being multiplied again by the same passes. Well, in this case, specularity, because we want the water, and since we don't want the whole render, we just want part of the render where the laser could be hitting around. I normalized, well, I got the depth, which is normalized, but here's named normalized depth, and it's being masked. That way I can make sure that this is the only area the reflections and the lighting will affect the render. And the spaceship, again, I stencil it out for the reflections in here, and this is being plussed back together. So this is the result for these three parts of how to do this type of effect. And that's it. If you want a full breakdown, you can let me know. Thank you for watching.